I did a video probably last week now, and it was a video on Street Racer for the Sega Saturn, which is a game that I've previously owned on the PlayStation, and I've got here the Super Nintendo version of Street Racer, and I'm going to put it in and see what it's like. I'm not going to make a direct comparison in this video. I'll probably do a separate video for that, because, you know, like I say, I played it last week. It's not like I played it, you know, 5 minutes ago on the Saturn, so, you know, my memory's not fresh from the Saturn version. I have a obviously idea of what to expect. So a bit of music to start the game off. This was basically, you know, like I said in the Saturn version, kind of like a clone of Mario Kart. There are differences, but essentially that's what it is. So, now I don't remember there being a soccer option in the Saturn version or the PlayStation version. So that might be something that's different on this game. So you got the usual selection of characters. I can't see any, you know, extra additions or omissions, but, you know, the game's not, like I say, it's not 100% fresh in my head at the moment. So graphically it looks great. Again, you know, the controls are similar. You press up to jump. It's actually going mental jumping because the D-pad's a bit dodgy on this controller. It's certainly a Competition Pro piece of shit. Looks like the track, at least the track order is different. I don't remember this level being the first race on the Saturn version. I don't know whether in these days the game, I mean, there's so many versions of this game, it'll have been handled by different development teams, I would imagine, you know, with basically access to the same kind of, you know, character designs, concepts, toolkits, you know, stuff like that. So obviously you're going to vary from game to game, but you've got to assume that final, you know, the final code, the games will have been tweaked to basically, you know, kind of handle pretty much the same. Although to be honest, this doesn't feel quite as drifty as the Saturn version. It seemed when I played the Saturn version I was literally hitting every wall every time I went around a corner. I should stop mentioning the Saturn version, shouldn't I, since I'm not supposed to be comparing it in this video. So the music's pretty decent. Super Nintendo usually does a good job on the music front. Nice kind of warm, rounded off, bassy sounds you get from Super Nintendo. This one have this version of the game doesn't have the turbos in, which I've just noticed. I don't think it's got the turbos in anyway. And also, there's attacks there with the shoulder buttons. I'm pretty sure you could shoot things in the other versions at your opponents. What that is. Can't see anything coming out though, so I'm not sure. Punched him. I mean, you've got attacks and such like in this game, but I think that there's not really as much emphasis on the attacks because they're not as effective as something like Mario Kart. Yeah, in Mario Kart you can literally just shoot a shell out and overtake somebody. Whereas this, it's more about trying to eliminate your enemies, and you know, you can't spend too much time trying to eliminate one enemy because then you'll basically, someone will just overtake you. So it's probably what makes it more of an average racer than Mario Kart, you know, because Mario Kart's kind of got the two strategic elements that work, whereas this has only really got the racing, in my opinion. So go one player, and we'll see what this soccer's about. Like I say, I can't remember this from the 32-bit versions, but I guess it could have been there within the menus, but I don't know. So we'll go for just the outdoor pitch. Go for the bog standard character. Pretty sure in the other versions this guy had you know, well-rounded attributes. You know, you got your little like attributes for speed and cornering or whatever. I'm sure this guy was level on all the attributes, whereas it's not on this version. So kind of looks like one of those bloody Top Gear challenges where they have all the shit cars like Toyota Aygos and Volkswagen City Foxes. Looks like that. It's kind of not very intuitive. Almost like do a fucking donut, just spin round. Oh, is there only one goal? So you're all trying to get it into the same goal there. It's kind of like cup is when you're at school. I just assumed that like you were actually in teams or something, but obviously it's just free for all. Yeah, I'm not enjoying this. It's crap. It might be good if you're playing in 2-player or something, but it's hard enough to get near the ball. Where is the bloody ball? That guy's got it. It's hard enough to get the ball, and then you've got that like Pong style thing covering the goal as well, like an automatic goalkeeper. So you've got a cat in hell's chance of scoring on that. I don't like that. It's a bit of a pointless addition if you ask me. Certainly in 1-player. It might be good in multiplayer. I don't think anyone would take up an invitation of coming round to play some Street Racer. Maybe Mario Kart, but not Street Racer. So Rumble mode. This is the Destruction Derby type thing. Oh, it was on the 32-bit versions anyway, with the fences, and you have to smash them and chuck your, well, kind of ram your opponent through them. That kind of shit. So this looks different. This looks completely different. One other thing worth noting is obviously there's no, well, that I can see anyway, there's no alternative camera angles that you got in the PlayStation and Saturn. Basically on them versions you can have like kind of Micro Machines type overhead kind of isometric view. Yeah, let's fucking get on there. So change level. See what a hard rumble's like. Is it just harder, or is it a different stadium? No, same bloody level. So I don't know whether there's multiple stages to this. I think there's just more people. Don't like that. It's not as good as the 32-bit versions in that sense. We'll say it is an excellent, well-polished game for a 16-bit title. You know, it looks great. It sounds great. I mean, the gameplay, like I say, it's more racing focused, I'd say, than Mario Kart, because the combat doesn't work all that well. But you know, it's cheap enough. I paid I think a £5 for it, and I'd definitely say it's worth that much. If you're into these kind of karting games, it's definitely worth having in your collection. Would I pick this version over the 32-bit versions? I don't know, because you're probably getting a better version on the 32-bit consoles, you know, better graphics, you know, different camera angles, but essentially, really, this is a 16-bit game. It's a bit like playing Virtua Racing on the Sega Saturn. You know, it's got more cars, it's got loads of tracks, it runs smoother. But the reason that Virtua Racing was good originally was because it pushed the hell out of the Mega Drive, and you needed a you know, special, expensive cartridge to play the game. You know, for me, it's the same with this. This is pushing the Super Nintendo, whereas for PlayStation and Saturn, it's a bit of a walkover, let's face it. So I think the 16-bit version's got more charm to it. I mean, they're cheap enough to pick both up, so it just depends on where your preference lies. As to what you prefer to collect for, basically. You know, if you're a 32-bit collector on PlayStation or Saturn, and you only play a few Super Nintendo games, then get it for a 32-bit system. But if you're a 16-bit gamer, you know, Super Nintendo, I think there's a Mega Drive version. So yeah, I mean, they all play essentially pretty much the same. There are differences, but not vast differences between the versions. So yeah, just pick your console preference really, or just buy them all if you're randomly a Street Racer fan. So thumbs up from me for the Super Nintendo version. It certainly holds its head up high compared to the other versions.